Bachelor alum Colton Underwood has been making headlines after publicly revealing he had contracted the coronavirus. So last week, I caught up with the 28-year-old former football player on my podcast to hear about his scary battle with the virus and how he was able to overcome it. When you got infected, you have no idea how that happened, right? It's not as though you're hanging around with 5 people who have obvious symptoms. It was out of nowhere.
Yeah, so I think that is one of the scariest parts about this is I could have been carrying it for 2 weeks. I didn't know that I had it. I didn't know where I got it from. And Cass and I were kissing while I was symptomatic because I just thought I had the flu, and she still didn't get it. I'm blessed and fortunate to have my symptoms be manageable from home, but the fact that I couldn't walk 15 feet to the toilet without having to sit down and catch my breath, I think is still eye-opening for a lot of people. I've never had a respiratory illness before in my life. And to have that and to feel like I couldn't access my lungs was one of the scariest moments, as well as because I had it so early. I had it while people were still partying on the beaches saying, if I get it, I get it. I'm like, guys, I'm 28 and I'm laying in bed right now, sleeping 16 hours a day, trying to recover from this. You can get it. I think that was the scariest part. It was just, there was so much unknown.
Do you have any underlying health conditions at all? Do you have asthma? Do you have?
No.
So you literally went into this perfectly healthy. So you were feeling great in early March.
Yeah, I even thought I only had the flu. I was like, statistically speaking, there's no way I have this thing. I think there was like 40 cases in California at the time. And I was like, I'm good. And then all of a sudden it took a turn. And I had to call, well, Cass helped me out. I called 3 different doctors to even see to get a test. And finally I got one in Orange County.
At what point when this is going on and you're at home, are you thinking this could get real scary if it hasn't already?
I obviously think I had to wait 2 days to get my results, and I went back and I was still mildly symptomatic, but nothing crazy yet. But the night that I woke up I was gasping for air at 4 a.m. I bought oxygen, those little boost things off of Amazon, so I could shove it in my mouth and force oxygen into me. Like, that's literally what I did at 4 a.m. I rolled over and I could barely breathe, so I ordered oxygen off Amazon. That was a moment where I was like, this is not good. And I begged my doctor to prescribe those medicines to me and an inhaler, which I did all 3. And I know there's controversy over it, but for me, you're fighting for your health. You're fighting for your survival. So I was very lucky and fortunate, once again, that he prescribed those to me, because I think they helped me.
You're saying you legitimately think it could have killed you?
100%. And come to find out, my heart rate was double for while I was battling it for 5 days straight. My heart was working overtime. Didn't understand that.
So were you in the hundreds? Was your heart rate in the hundreds?
No, I was 89, 90. So
But you're normally what, like 45, 50?
I'm normally like 44. So like I pride myself on staying in shape and having like healthy otherwise. But to hear that and put that in perspective for me, and just realizing my body was literally, my heart was beating twice as fast as it normally does, just to provide comfort and get the right supply to where it needed to go, was eye-opening.
And I want people listening to think about that, because if your resting heart rate's 45, it means you're an elite athlete. But for the average person out there walking around with a resting heart rate of 75 or 80, your heart cannot sustain beating at 150 to 160 to try to oxygenate your body over 5+ days. Did you ultimately go on supplemental oxygen, or were you able to avoid that?
I avoided it. My oxygen levels are fine. I think just the worst symptom for me was night sweats. I would wake up and have to change the sheets, and I'd have Cassie's family have to wash the sheets every other night just because they were just soaked. I was freezing, so I'd always go to bed in a sweatshirt. And I remember I got a brand new red sweatshirt, and I wore it to bed. And I woke up and the sheets were pink, just completely pink, because I sweat through the sweatshirt and I just stained the white sheets. But that goes to show you my body really didn't know how to handle it, and I didn't know what was happening.
You had night sweats with the coronavirus, but I'm sure you had night sweats too after going through all this experience on The Bachelor.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was definitely a time that I look back and say, wow, that was challenging, but I'm glad it's over.